Video opens on a disorienting, slow-motion shot. We are moving down a seemingly endless corridor made of shifting sand, like the inside of a massive hourglass. Strange, elongated shadows stretch and twist on the walls. The air is thick with a low, resonant hum. Voiceover. There is a particular kind of exhaustion known only to the soul. It is not the weariness of the body after a long day's labor, but the profound fatigue of a spirit standing still. You feel it in the quiet moments, when the noise of the world recedes and you are left alone with the echoes of your own potential. It is the paralysis of the crossroads. This condition, this psychic inertia, has a name. We shall call it the labyrinthine paralysis. It is the feeling of being trapped not by walls of stone, but by walls of possibility. And in this session, I will give you the key. Not to escape your labyrinth, for that is a fool's errand, but to understand its architecture. By the time our session is over, you will see that the maze in your dreams, the maze in your life, is not a prison. It is a map. And the monster you fear awaits you with a gift. The camera turns a corner in the sandy corridor and now faces a vast, open desert under a purple twilight sky. A single, ornate door stands in the middle of nowhere. A clock on the door has no hands. Phase 2. The problem, have you ever felt it? The strange, suffocating gravity of a choice yet to be made. You stand at a doorway in your life. Perhaps it is a career, a relationship, a city. You know you must step through, but you cannot. Your feet feel as though they have taken root in the floor of the present moment. You tell yourself you are being rational. You make lists. Pros. Cons. You game out every scenario, running simulations in the theater of your mind until the characters are exhausted and the plot has grown stale. You consult friends, family, oracles in search of a guarantee that does not exist. And with each passing day, the options, instead of becoming clearer, begin to blur. The corridors of what if multiply. What if I choose this path and regret it? What if I choose the other and miss out on a hidden glory? The fear of a wrong turn becomes more potent than the desire to move forward at all. You might be facing it right now. The decision to leave a job that is safe but slowly dimming your inner light. Or the choice to commit to a love that asks for a part of you that you are not sure you are ready to give. Or perhaps it is a quieter, more insidious choice, the choice to finally begin the creative work you have postponed for years, the work that terrifies you with its sheer, naked sincerity. The world sees you as thoughtful, deliberate, cautious. But inside, you feel like a ghost haunting the hallways of your own life. The internal feeling is one of constant, low-grade tension. A hum of anxiety beneath the surface of your days. You are a navigator without a compass, becalmed on a windless sea, surrounded by shores you could sail to, if only you could bring yourself to choose a direction. And here is the hidden cost of this paralysis, the subtle poison in this stagnation. It is a profound act of self-betrayal. With every moment you defer, with every choice you refuse to make, you are whispering a terrible message to the deepest part of your being. You are telling it, I do not trust you. I do not trust your instincts. I do not trust your desires. I do not trust your ability to handle the consequences of your own life. This erosion of self-trust is the true tragedy of the labyrinthine paralysis. You are not just losing time. You are losing faith in the protagonist of your own story. You are slowly, methodically, teaching yourself that you are not capable of navigating your own existence. The maze, it seems, has won. But what if the point was never to win? The lone door in the desert swings open, revealing not a room, but another, more complex maze, this one made of mirrors. Each mirror reflects a different version of the viewer, older, younger, triumphant, defeated. Phase 3. The solution in the ancient heart of our collective dreaming, there lies a myth. The myth of the labyrinth of Crete. A structure so cunningly devised that no one who entered could ever find their way out. And at its center, a creature of paradox, the Minotaur. Half man, half bull. A monster born of shame and hidden away from the world. For centuries, we have been told this is a story about heroes and monsters. About brave Theseus sailing to Crete to slay the beast and escape the maze. But this is a shallow reading, a reading for children. The psychoanalytic truth, the truth that resonates in the labyrinth of your own dreams, is far more profound. The goal is not to escape the maze. The maze is a summons. It is an invitation from the deepest strata of your psyche to finally stop running along the well-lit periphery of your life and to journey inward, toward the dark, resonant center of your own being. Your paralysis is the sign that this journey can no longer be postponed. To understand how to navigate it, we must accept 3 core principles. Principle 1. The maze is you. The labyrinth that appears in your dreams or manifests as indecision in your waking life is not an external obstacle. It is a perfect, to scale model of your own mind. Its twisting corridors are your circular thought patterns. Its dead ends are your limiting beliefs. The walls are constructed from the bricks of your fears, mortared with the expectations of others. When you feel lost in the maze, you are simply lost in the unexamined architecture of your own consciousness. You cannot escape it because wherever you go, you take it with you. The journey, therefore, is not one of escape, but of cartography. You must learn to map yourself. Principle 2. The thread is intuition. In the myth, the hero Theseus is given a ball of thread by the princess Ariadne. It is this thread that allows him to trace his path to the center and, crucially, back out again. We have been taught that this is a clever trick, a simple tool. It is not. The thread is a potent symbol for something our hyper-rational world has taught us to dismiss: intuitive wisdom. Logic and reason are excellent tools for navigating the known world. But they are useless in the labyrinth. Why? Because the labyrinth operates on dream logic, not waking logic. Trying to solve the maze with pros and cons lists is like trying to measure a dream with a ruler. It is a category error. Ariadne's thread is the felt sense in your body. The gut feeling. The flash of insight that comes in the shower or on a long walk. It is the quiet, persistent whisper beneath the frantic shouting of your analytical mind. To navigate the maze, you must learn to trust this thread above all else. You must hold it, and you must follow where it leads, even when it leads into darkness. Principle 3. The Minotaur is your power. This is the most critical and transformative principle. The creature at the center of the maze is not your enemy. It is not something to be slain. The Minotaur is your disowned power. It is the part of you that society, your upbringing, or your own fear has deemed monstrous. It is your untamed ambition. Your primal creativity. Your righteous anger. Your raw, unfiltered sexuality. It is your shadow self. We lock this powerful, vital energy away in the center of our psychic labyrinth because we are terrified of its intensity. We fear that if we let it out, it will destroy us and our carefully constructed lives. And so, we starve it. We ignore its roars. And the labyrinthine paralysis you feel is the result. It is the psychic system grinding to a halt because a core component of its engine has been neglected. The roar of the Minotaur is the cry of your own starving potential. The heroic task is not to kill the Minotaur with the sword of repression. It is to walk into the center of the maze, look this creature in the eye, and ask it a simple question: what do you need? The goal is not to slay the beast, but to integrate it. To bring its ferocious, untamed energy back out of the labyrinth and harness it in your conscious life. You are not meant to be the Minotaur's killer. You are meant to be its partner. Think of it this way: your life is a great ship. Your conscious, rational mind is the captain on the bridge, steering the rudder. But the Minotaur is the roaring, fiery engine deep in the hull. You can ignore the engine, you can fear its power, but without it, your ship is dead in the water, paralyzed. The true art of living is for the captain to descend into the engine room, to understand the beast of fire and steel, and to work with it to cross the vast ocean of existence. Phase 4. The application. This journey from the abstract to the actual is the work of a lifetime, but it begins with a single step into the dark. Here are 4 practical techniques, 4 steps to take not out of the maze, but deeper within it. I urge you to treat these not as mere exercises, but as sacred rituals. First, map the walls of your maze. Tonight, or as soon as you are able, take a piece of paper and a pen. In the very center, write down the decision that has paralyzed you. The choice you cannot make. Now, around that central point, I want you to begin drawing the corridors and walls of your personal labyrinth. But these are not lines of ink. They are words. Each wall is a fear. Each dead end is a belief. Write them down. Be ruthlessly honest. The walls might be labeled: the fear of what my parents will think, the terror of financial instability, the comfort of my predictable misery, the belief that I am not talented enough, the fear of being alone. As you draw, you will notice something extraordinary. The maze, which felt infinite and impossibly complex in your mind, becomes finite and knowable on the page. You are no longer a lost victim within the structure. You are its cartographer, seeing it from above. This act of externalizing the labyrinth is the first step toward mastering it. You cannot navigate a territory you have not mapped. Second, listen for the roar of the Minotaur. This is a practice in radical listening. Find a time when you can be undisturbed for 15 minutes. Sit in silence. Close your eyes. Your rational mind will immediately try to solve the problem, to send search parties down the usual, well-worn corridors of your maze. Politely ask it to stand down. Its services are not required right now. Your task is to listen for something else. Beneath the chatter of pros and cons, beneath the hum of anxiety, there is a deeper sound. A roar. It is the voice of the Minotaur. I want you to listen for the raw, irrational, primal emotion at the heart of your paralysis. Is it anger? Is it a volcanic rage at your circumstances, at your own inaction? Let it roar. Is it a profound, bottomless grief for a path not taken long ago? Let it weep. Is it a wild, untamed ambition that you have told yourself is arrogant or unrealistic? Let it hunger. Do not judge this energy. Do not try to reason with it. Your only job is to bear witness. To acknowledge its presence. To give this so-called monster the dignity of being heard for the first time. You will find that monsters, like children, often scream loudest when they feel they are not being seen. Third, find Ariadne's thread. This is an exercise to bypass the tyrannical logic of the conscious mind and connect with your intuition. Take a coin. Assign one of your choices to heads, and the other to tails. This is not about letting chance decide your fate. That is an abdication of responsibility. This is about revealing a hidden truth. Stand up. Hold the coin in your hand. Feel its weight. Say the choices aloud. Heads, I stay. Tails, I go. Now, toss the coin high into the air. And here is the crucial moment. In the split second while the coin is spinning, before it lands, before you know the outcome, a part of you will have a preference. You will feel a flicker of hope for one result, or a slight drop of dread for the other. It is an almost imperceptible somatic event, a tightening in the chest, a lightness in the stomach. That feeling, that tiny, involuntary flicker of hope or fear, that is Ariadne's thread. It is the unvarnished truth of your intuition speaking before your rational mind can build a case against it. Whatever you were hoping for as the coin spun in the air is the direction your soul wants to travel. Now, you must find the courage to follow it. Fourth, take one step toward the center. The labyrinth's greatest trick is to convince you that you must see the entire path before you take the first step. This is a lie. It is what keeps you frozen at the entrance. Your task is not to solve the entire maze at once. It is simply to take one, single, irreversible step down a corridor. Look at your map. Listen to the roar. Grasp the thread. Now, identify the smallest possible action you can take that moves you toward the center of the conflict, not away from it. This is not an action of escape, it is an action of engagement. If your paralysis is about changing careers, the step is not to quit your job. It is to enroll in a single online course. To have one 30-minute coffee with someone in your desired field. If your paralysis is about a relationship, the step is not to pack your bags. It is to have one honest, terrifying conversation. The one you have been rehearsing and avoiding for months. This single step is an act of immense power. It signals to your psyche that the period of stagnation is over. The journey inward has begun. You have chosen to walk toward the roar. The scene changes again. We are now standing on a high, rocky cliff overlooking a stormy sea. In the distance, a single, brilliant lighthouse cuts through the rain and fog. Phase 5. The proof. This psychoanalytic reinterpretation of the myth, this journey inward to integrate the shadow, is not mere storytelling. It is the very structure of profound psychological transformation. When Theseus emerges from the labyrinth, the myth tells us he is a hero. But what does that truly mean? He did not just conquer an external foe. He descended into the darkness of the unknown, faced the monstrous aspect of the deep psyche, the raw, instinctual, amoral energy of the Minotaur, and returned to the world of light, change. He returned with a deeper knowledge of the totality of what a human being is. He did not simply kill his monster, he incorporated its power. This is the archetypal journey of individuation. The great psychoanalyst Carl Jung built his life's work on this exact principle. He called it shadow integration. Jung argued that the modern individual is often fragmented, neurotic, and paralyzed precisely because we have been taught to deny the Minotaur within us. We present a polite, rational, socially acceptable persona to the world, while the powerful, chaotic, and creative aspects of our nature are locked away in the labyrinth of the unconscious. Jung's clinical work showed, time and again, that wholeness does not come from perfecting the persona. It comes from having the courage to descend, to face the shadow, and to integrate its energy. The artist who is blocked cannot paint again by reading more books about technique. They must confront the monstrous fear of failure or success at the heart of their paralysis. The entrepreneur frozen in inaction will not be freed by more market research, but by confronting the monstrous ambition they were taught was greedy or shameful. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche wrote, "Battle not with monsters, lest ye become a monster, and if you gaze into the abyss gazes also into you." This is often misunderstood as a warning. It is also a statement of fact about the process of transformation. To grow, you must engage with the monstrous and abyssal parts of yourself. The key is not to be consumed by them, but to gaze, to understand, and to return from the abyss with the wisdom it offers. The logic is undeniable. Your paralysis is a state of inner conflict. A war between the parts of you that want safety and the parts of you that want freedom. A war between the mind and the soul. Continuing to wander the corridors, analyzing every option, is simply choosing a side in the war. Usually the side of the fearful, rational mind. This only strengthens the stalemate. The only way to end the war is to act as a diplomat. To go to the roaring, beastly heart of the conflict, to the throne room of the Minotaur, and to broker a peace. This peace is not a surrender. It is an integration. It is the moment the captain and the engine finally begin to work as one. The storm subsides. The sun breaks through the clouds, illuminating the calm sea. The lighthouse stands, solid and serene. Phase 6. The call to action. You came to this session feeling lost within a maze. But now you hold a map, a compass, and a new understanding of the quest. The labyrinth is not your prison. It is your proving ground. The paralysis is not your weakness. It is the tension on the bowstring just before the arrow is released. Your journey is your own. But you do not have to walk it alone. Look at the map you drew of your maze. In the comments below, I invite you to share one wall that you have built. You need not share the decision itself. Simply name the fear. Fear of judgment, the need for certainty, loyalty to a past version of myself. By bringing these shadows into the light of the community, we begin to see them for what they are, not solid walls of stone, but shifting curtains of smoke. If you are ready to stop being a tourist in your own life and become an archaeologist of your own soul, then I invite you to join our expedition. Subscribe to Ego and Echo. Together, we will continue to chart the hidden territories of the human psyche. Confronting the Minotaur grants you access to your own power. But what do you do with it? How do you wield this integrated energy in the world without being consumed by it? That is the next great task. That is why your next session should be our exploration of the archetype of the sovereign, how to rule your inner kingdom. Click the link on the screen to learn how to move from the labyrinth to the throne. The center of the maze is waiting. Walk toward the roar.